Okay, the side sheets are cut. This one here is 25 inches. The middle one here is the cutoffs we'll use for different braces and stuff. And here's the other side of the other side for the boat. Now what we got to do is we got to match these together with the factory finish on both on the same side. That's for that'll be the top of the sides, and we'll start shaping the sides. All right, next step. Since this is a 20-foot boat, this sheet is not going to be long enough for the boat with the curve. So what I am going to do is I'm going to add a diamond plate piece in front of it. That way this will be the bow part. And what I have to do is match this up together, and then something like this. Maybe I got this the wrong way. I better put it the other way. Okay, so this add-on will work. I marked it here first. And this is the pattern that I used on the last boat. Also this one here. Line this one up to the bottom. And what I have to do is have to mark this one. And mark this one. And then I mark the rest of it. To cut that, make sure it's lined up good. Okay, now we'll cut these and I'll find another front piece for that. See, this diamond plate is going to be the front of the boat, because on a 20-footer, the back would be, if I didn't add on a piece, the back would be right around here, which is too short. Good enough for an 18-footer, but not for a 20. And I cut a slot in the back so that the back will curve up a little, so it don't ride too straight. I also shave a little bit off of here, the edges. Okay. I took these from my wife's collection, Sarian, and that's what I do. Wax the blade and the shop smells great. Okay, I made sure they're all lined up, and I'm cutting both sides with one run. I changed the battery. Okay, there. Now normally on a 18-footer, I'd have to cut this part off too, but I did because I got this part. I'll cut this part and we'll weld it on. Notice I have a lot of these cut-offs I use for patterns from like the past boat, the most recent too. I have a bunch of the ones with the middle part, and here's the one that I used on the last boat. And notice I put a date on it so I know which one is which. And here gives you an idea of how many boats I did recently. I just haven't had the time to put them away yet. I had some people asking how I got the middle to be bent down, and this is what I use. I made this. It's a homemade, I don't know, chisel type thing, whatever you call it. And I just run down the line and pound on it with a sledgehammer. I got some water in here, see that? I left the doors open. It was windy and rainy yesterday, so that part don't leak. And I use this sort of angle finder to sort of keep an eye on my angle. Okay, here it is. Just match up right there, overlap it, and weld it on. I gotta find one for the other side, and that's the shape. Oh shoot. Okay, what we need to do now is match this part here, match this to this part, to the bottom, so we'll get a good uniform fit. And I don't use patterns for that anymore. I learned that since there's always slight differences in these, very slight, but still, if you get a slight difference, you might get too wide of a crack that you'd have to fill in. So this is how I do it. I'll tack this one onto here and then mark it and then break it off and cut it. Okay, now we got them both cut. This is what they look like when they're both cut, when they're cut ready to go. Slap onto the bottom hull, part of the hull. But it's 10 o'clock now. It's time for me to quit for the night. There's Mus's house he's building. That's his jet ski. That's where I live, before I work.